Well,
I haven't seen it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, I've told you, there's 3 of them in the world. I mean, when you've been saying I've got a round head, I was a bit like, yeah, everyone has, stop having a go.
Yeah.
And then I saw this picture last week. I thought, God, he's right.
Can't we just pop it on the XOM website?
I'd rather not.
Oh, go on, just get someone.
Have you seen that man in a jar without a brain?
Sorry, is that something, is that a product you can buy? In like, Sainsbury's?
Is it a dream you had yesterday and you wondered if you could, yes, hello, could you make my dream into reality, please? Oh, we can't actually, sir. In, plastic would be good.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In the future, you'll be able to download your dreams and then just, like, act them out again, probably, in the year 2000 or something.
Soothsayer.
No, there's some museum somewhere.
Yeah.
That's got this little fella who was born without a brain, and he's in a jar, and it's just that he's got a really round head.
Right.
And when I saw this picture, I thought, God, it just reminded me of this little fella in a jar.
Oh, and what do you mean he's born without a brain?
He was born without a brain.
So it's a baby?
He's not a little fella.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Do you know the difference? Do you have conversations with, like, people in prams thinking, that fella's little, and he doesn't talk much?
Yeah.
You know babies aren't, like, little people.
Well, maybe...
Well, they are little people, but I mean, they're not very small adults. They're not like midgets.
They don't do a job of work, is what we're saying.
Yeah, you're very, no. What do you mean?
I didn't read about it, I just saw the picture. And
this is where you're going wrong, Carl. This is always your mistake. You see the picture, you don't read the little caption.
But what do you mean? How do you
guess at what you think the meaning is.
But how did you know he didn't have a brain?
He said something like the brainless man.
Yeah, but people say that about you. It doesn't mean you haven't got a spinal cord.
I bet somebody's seen it and knows what I mean. It's a famous picture.
Right, call in 08700 800 1234. Once again, you win a prize if you can tell us what Karl is talking about. Just in general. It's an ongoing competition. We're trying to find some CDs to anyone who knows what Karl is talking about. Well, we've had calls confirming that there was indeed, a fetus, or a stillborn child.
A pickled baby.
A pickled baby. No wonder it died. Born without a brain. But everyone has, you know, pointed out that it wasn't a little fella.
It certainly wasn't a little fella.
No.
But because it had been in the jar for a long time, I think it had aged a bit.
What are you basing that on?
You do carry on growing, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, your ears and your nose.
Your ears and your nose. And your eyes don't grow, so,
yeah.
You could probably, yeah.
I'll dig it out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if, like, there was an experiment where they were raising a child just based on the information that we said on the radio. What kind of a person
it was like download, yeah, and
what kind of information would they have?
And it took everything literally.
Exactly.
And I think, yeah, there's no irony or, yeah, it was just...
everything we said they assumed was fact. Everything that Karl said.
And any question it had about the world, it could only ask Karl.
Exactly.
And it was
now, this worries me because without wishing to be disrespectful in any way, Karl, you know I think you're the best man on earth. When you have a child, we could be in a situation a bit like that. Do you know, is it a concern for you, do you think, that, like, when your son's growing up, or your daughter, they're asking you questions, you're conscious, I mean, you yourself have admitted that you have a sphere of knowledge which you are an expert on.
Ask your mother.
You'd say ask your mother.
That's good.
That's great, fair enough.
That's good.
And I'd play with it. I think I'd be a good dad.
Yeah, I think you would.
But I wouldn't be the one who's shouting at it.
No. No. Who would you get to shout at it? But Windsor Davis. He'd be good, wouldn't he? You horrible little man!
Well, you know, I'd tell it the rights and wrong. You don't have to be a really bright person to know the rights and wrong in the world.
Yeah. No. I think you are bright, Karl.
You are. And at what point in their life would you tell them about the evolution of the baguette? Which you told us.
Or the story of the bee.
Yes.
That you scored once.
Or the 2 children. Would you ever get them to meet as maybe like that? They could be godparents. The friends you had at school.
Yeah.
Webbed hands.
The big heads and webbed hands.
They weren't my friends.
That weren't friends.
I wish we could track them down.
Oh, that'd be great.
I imagine they're in a zoo. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. 2 big jars.
Park, yeah.
2 big jars. Industrial strength jars. Oh, dear.
What do you make of the, what do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It
says,
isn't
it just choosing the, you know, eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that, you know, where will it lead? Where will it end, Karl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us 3 look like in the future if they're being, you know, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, you know, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, you know, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right? Who's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very.
So like being a man in a
I
dress.
mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything, and I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Yeah. Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean? A kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of
Right?
oh, that's great. Did Big Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh. No, sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well, I'll be—
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think—
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
that's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway—
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well.
Oh, so I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round and and you know, sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport. Yeah.
And the horse was in the lounge.
Reading a paper.
Just like walking around.
Oh God! What?
And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this, because the story's going to just unravel and unravel. It's going to go for hours. Let's play a track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's like an onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country, I've never heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really—
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
We got on to genetically modified babies, but
and
somehow
then Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got on to— he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was—
because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently.
Well,
I don't know whether that's relevant.
You don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is, like, make a picture for you so you understand.
What does she look like? Who did she look like?
Bit of a— and no disrespect to her— bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to her.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her husband?
No, her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse?
Yeah, from— I don't know where. There was I think there was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with them?
They kept it in the house.
Did they
didn't
get
have
caught?
it for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse in there?
What happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's just a good money-making idea.
So,
you're a charity.
So, so I asked me mum for some, because she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
So did you just cut? You didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah,
soil.
they wouldn't have survived.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a bit rough. So, as I went
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
So I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet.
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
And the horse was walking around the living room.
Oh.
I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and
Sure.
a telly and that?
Telling you that!
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London the
Commodore
other day,
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, that dog is happier than most dogs.
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open, it's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though, they're always alright. So that's what I was saying, I think this horse was doing alright for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's
That's
what
by
we
the
were talking
by.
about. Yeah, so anyway, this family, who's a bit, what we were talking about, it was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that,
Yeah.
right?
It could happen, Rick.
So,
Come on, work with him.
so you take it to your doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever,
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
and get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things,
Yep.
right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby,
Yeah.
you treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm
that,
a good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese, right? So then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat, you know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The
Did
weird
it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy,
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Whoa.
Life.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
You're always right, Carl.
Well, like when you're born, you're a little baby, wrinkly and stuff. When you get older, you sort of morph into a baby again. And you go through the same phases. So when you're young, you buy singles. You get old, you got nothing to do all day. You got all your pension money. What will I buy? Cliff Richard's on the telly. Here's my video, buy me song.
You see, that started off as quite a sensible point, because I actually think they do it. But what was all that alien stuff about when you're born, you go wrinkly and you go wrinkly again? So sometimes you mix, like, normal things that human beings say with I don't know what.
Well, look, when you're a baby, you've got a little bald head, no teeth. You get old. What happens?
Are you a philosopher? Are you an official philosopher? Because, I mean, it sounds like it.
Do you know, the other week when I came up with, like, a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that,
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was, he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is, people live till 78, I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach,
Right.
like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory, it wasn't an idea, it was the ramblings of a mental
You're
case.
saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." Just saying,
Go on.
if that's a no, right? I've been thinking.
It is a
about,
no.
What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah.
Go on.
Somehow, I don't know how.
A kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child will give birth to an old man.
No. What I'm saying is, right?
Go on.
Work the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this. But imagine this as notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people,
Yeah.
and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
So what happens?
She sort of wakes up,
Amazing.
right? And she works the other way. So like she might be 77,
Yep.
and then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
No
I'm
idea.
really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said. This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is...
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This
it's
is
like,
this is it. Let me just tell you the
Go on then.
ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die, at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out,
What do you mean when you die at the age of
you're
9?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no fear.
So you missed out a bit here. So this woman, what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think
Yeah.
when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life, rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to her years, then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, but forget all that bit.
I'll forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is...
she died and she doesn't remember all her, this is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
I don't like change, and that's what's happened. I'm not
You
happy
don't, do
today.
you? You're like Rain Man. He really is like Rain Man. Anything change, he's got to get in a little routine. You can't.
No, I don't like I'm not like Suzanne's mum and dad and what have you, where routine cannot change no matter what.
Like what?
Well, we've talked about it where, you know, if it's a Tuesday, I'm having sausage, egg and chips no matter where I am. That's what they're like.
Right.
That's what they'll remember, actually. When I'm saying about stuff about Live 8 and all that, you know, people will remember. If people said to a dad, you know, you remember Live 8? Okay, what day was it on? Tuesday, well, I had sausage and chips. Nothing changes. But the thing is, today, normally we have a bit of a, you know, I know what we're doing where and all that, and it's all sort of messed up.
We don't usually know what we're doing where. We say, what should we do next?
No,
You go,
but
what?
I know, like, Rockbusters has been done early,
Right.
so that's normally done at
Because that's
about
really
about 5
throwing you. I
minutes.
say, uh-oh.
I just don't, I don't like all this change and that, it's messing about, innit?
What could you, if I said, right, quick, you've got to come up with top 5 things, what would it be?
I mean, I'm into weird stuff, but it seems a bit tight to stick them in a list.
What, like what?
Well, like, you know, sort of freaky people and that. I've got that freak book. But I don't know if they'd be happy if I called one of them up and said, good news, you're at number 1, because you've got 4 legs or whatever. I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, then, this is the exclusive Ricky Gervais guide to Shortlist magazine, Karl Pilkington Top 5 Freaks, in at number 5.
So you've got to work backwards, haven't you? I've got to know what my number one is.
I think you
say
do work
number five.
backwards.
Probably something not too good at number 5, but it's still interesting. Lighthouse Man.
Who's that?
Lighthouse Man?
What's Lighthouse Man?
It's a fella with a hole in his head. And he, what he does, rather than moan about it, sticks a candle in it.
Shut up. What are you talking about?
Sticks a candle
What
in
are you
it.
talking about? Where is the hole?
I bet he didn't call himself Lighthouse Man, did he?
Well, I don't know, it's just what he got nicknamed. Because he had this hole, doctors were like, there's nothing we can do, can't fill it. He thought, what can I do with it? And it was of the days when there was no electric and that. You had to walk about with a candle.
Right.
So hang on a minute.
I can have both
Got a
hands
little
for
candle
you.
holder here. Stuck a candle in it, and he just got nicknamed the Lighthouse Man. So again, it's not that amazing, but I like the way he was sort of energy efficient.
Didn't he have, like, wax dripping on his head?
No, because it all went into the hole. So in
What?
a way, it was filled in. By the
What
end
do you
of the
mean?
day-
It wasn't a hole, though, it was a dip, surely.
No, a big hole.
Yeah, but not a hole through the skull with wax dripping on the brain.
No, just a really big hole in his head, but it had skin.
Like a golf hole.
Yeah, I suppose a golf hole's a good way of looking at
Perfect
it.
for a candle, basically. And
Yeah.
then the drippage went
Went into the hole.
Yeah.
Candle sort of stood up straight.
Yeah,
So was it in his forehead?
No, on the very top of his head.
that's perfect. You don't want it in the forehead, Steve. You'll have to walk back with
That'd
your
be
neck
ridiculous.
cricked.
So he was like a kind of human jack-o'-lantern.
What is a Lighthouse Man? What is it, Steve? What
Sorry, mate, yeah, I
better
forgot
description
about
do you
that.
need than the Lighthouse Man?
So yeah, he's probably at number 5.
Wow, that's at number 5, Steve.
Number 4.
What about Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square?
Again, you're getting what it says in the tin there, aren't you?
Now, pig-faced woman of Manchester Square, is that someone you knew growing up?
No, it's a square in London,
Yeah.
Right.
and it's just this woman who had a face like a pig, and the rumour was
Yeah.
that it wasn't a woman. Someone said it was a pet bear and they'd shaved it. That's what that's what
Was
I've
this
heard.
someone? Was this someone you saw? Or
No,
you just read
this
about?
is going back.
This is years ago.
This is years and years ago.
Yeah.
When there was loads of like weird looking people. I mean, the fact that it's Pig-Faced Woman of Manchester Square
Yeah.
says that there might have been one in
Piccadilly Circus.
Lexington, whatever. So there was a lot more of them knocking about back then.
Let's assume that it was a woman, and the first one, the Lighthouse fellow, he's a human. Do you think people would object because of their disfigurement, deformity, bit like being called freaks? Do you think?
Well, it gave them a purpose back then. See, if you were a freak years ago, there was work for you. You'd have these circus things. Now, if you've got a funny head, you're on the dole. They don't do these
Or
side
working
shows.
with Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant on the world's #1 audiobook. Great. Number 3?
What about Elephant Man?
Right.
Stick him at number 3. He's
Number 3.
He's surely the most famous freak ever to have lived, isn't he?
he's the one who got me into it.
Right. Yeah. Sure. He's a sort of entry-level freak.
Yeah.
A gateway freak.
Everyone is aware of him.
If the Elephant Man still existed, right, and you got the opportunity to meet him, and you walked in, a couple of questions. 1, what would your first reaction be? And 2, what would you say to him? What would your first question be?
How would I react? Well, I've sort of seen him enough now that it wouldn't shock me. So I don't even think I'd flinch.
Okay.
I mean, like I said when I first saw you, that was a bit weird. But now look, I can look at you. I don't double take or anything. What would I say to him though? What? I'd probably say, where do you get that hat to fit you? He always had that on. Where do you get that from?
That sort of flat cap that he's got.
Yeah, that on, didn't he? So,
Very stylish.
so yeah, I'd have him. So he's at number 3.
Right. Elephant Man number 3. I can't wait for
Blimey,
2 and
yeah.
1. Right. Okay. Number
Well, I know
2.
what my number 1 is. It's just number 2 now. I don't know his name, but there's a fella knocking about. Well, I don't think he's around anymore. But he had like a normal body. Looking at him, you'd go, "What's up with him? He's not a freak." Takes his undies off. He's got 2 knobs.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, there's nowhere to start. Do you
don't
think
know.
he uses them alternately, like have a wee out of this one, have a wee out of that one, or does he just like spread the load so he's weeing out of both?
I don't think he knows.
What
I
do you
think
mean
it's
doesn't
sort of
know?
like a lucky dip. when he goes to a urinal,
Yeah.
he can have a little bet with himself. He's just like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
So do you reckon he holds them
Holds
both
them
out?
definitely.
So he takes his trousers down, because, I mean, you know...
Yeah, you can't use a Y front.
Right.
It'd be,
Need more like a W front.
Yeah. So, he pops his cakes down there.
I don't think it's that much of a problem. It's not like...
Well... I don't know.
I'd prefer that than Elephant Man's head.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What if you had Elephant Man's knob?
Yeah, but it didn't work like that, did it? That's the thing. They said he had the body of an elephant, but that's the only thing that wasn't of an elephant standard. His knob was normal. Whereas with this fella, it's the other way round. Everything normal. Take the pants off. Oh, well, what's going on here?
But why would you ever take his pants off?
No, I wouldn't. I'm just saying if...
But why? I don't know why you'd be in a situation with this man with two knobs standing there with his pants on, and you go pop your pants off. You're not a doctor.
No, say if I'm waiting in a cubicle, and he's there.
For what?
Sure, you're waiting in the cubicle and he
I'm
comes in.
I'm waiting to have a wee at a cubicle.
Oh,
He's
in the
taking two
toilet.
urinals up and going,
Right.
hang on, you don't need them both, do you? He goes, well, actually,
Oh, and
have
then
a look at this.
right.
He's got two knobs.
See, I didn't see him at two urinals. I saw him at one, maybe them pointing inwards.
If you had that, and say the first time that you met Suzanne, would you mention that straight up?
Would you say, right, before this goes any further, I've got something to show you?
Well, let's see. Tell me exactly what you would say. All right, Carl, I can't wait to go back to your place.
Oh, maybe we should end up sort of like a boyfriend and girlfriend and live together for the rest of our lives. You had normal head then, didn't you?
I had the same head, yeah.
Yeah, but it had, like, hair coming out of it, didn't it? And sort
Yeah,
of like...
yeah, but she also had a smaller arse back then as well, so I think we've both been dumb.
If you want to hear more of this kind of intellectual discussion, then download our audios. Anyway, we need to get to number one.
Yeah, number one.
Okay, it is.
It's Pillow Man.
Oh, yeah.
Pillow Man. Okay, now explain for those that don't know who he was.
He's a fella with no arms and legs, just a head and a little body. Nickname Pillow Man. What else do you need to know?
Well, why is he your favourite?
Just because he's amazing. Just the way he just got on with his life. He used to light a cig, just using his lips and his tongue and that.
Oh, I've
And
seen
not
this. It's
fully lit. He'd buy like Roll Your Own.
Yeah, it's in the film Freaks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he
He had a
rolls
shave
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
How did he
Do
have
you
a
think
shave?
he used to do it? He used to get it in his mouth, and I don't know.
Jesus.
It's amazing. Did he have a knob?
I think he did because he had some kids.
What?
Yeah, he had kids. He was an all right looking fella. He wasn't odd looking. It's just that
sorry?
he had no, his head. He looked like Samuel L. Jackson. Imagine him with no arms and legs.
Right. That's odd, though, isn't it? Really?
It's weird, but you've got to give it to him. You know, I mean, he's there rolling his own. He's pretty cool looking.
I just want to say to people, it's not. You say it looks cool, to, with no arms and no legs to smoke, but don't forget that smoking can stunt your growth.
Yeah, but yeah. Remember, he was on like this circus freak show thing with like a bearded woman,
Yeah.
right? Which isn't really a freak, is it? She gonna have a shave. Have a shave, you're not a freak anymore.
Yeah.
A bearded woman. Compared to a fellow who's got no arms and legs, a bearded woman, get out! But there was like a fella with no bottom half to his body, called Johnny Eck, was his name. So, when you're knocking about with that crowd, you're gonna get a bit. You're gonna get a bit. So, yeah, he had kids, and they were all normal kids. They had all the limbs.
Did his
and
wife
everything.
had arms and legs?
Never saw his wife.
Never saw his wife.
I think
He was probably ashamed of her. She was a bit of a freak.
for someone like him, you'd think he'd just give up, wouldn't you? You think, forget it. What sort of life is it?
Yeah.
I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. It's not worth living. But he just got on with it. To have a shave, I don't even bother having a shave some days.
No. Nor did the bearded lady. Lazy fucking bitch.
So that's why I've put him at my number one position. It's just amazing, isn't it? The human, how whatever you dealt, some people just get on with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Pillow Man, or Draft Excluder, as I prefer to call him.
There you go. Oh God. Oh fucking hell. Okay, sum up mankind's foray into the future. I want this. This will be the introduction to a book about the future, it will then be read in 100 years' time and go, Karl Pilkington was the most prophetic genius that's ever walked the earth. These are his words from 2010.
Just some predictions.
Just,
that you think,
no,
things
just
that you-
sum it up. Just sum it up. I believe. Start off with, I, Karl Pilkington, believe that mankind in the future will. Okay, start off
And
with
then
that
what?
sentence.
Just have like a top 5.
Well, no, or just
Or maybe just predictions.
Just
yeah,
predict. how it could
okay,
be in
yeah,
the future.
okay, yeah.
So
and
just-
then a little thing to remember. And remember ye this. So I, Karl Pilkington, predict that in the future mankind will. Start off with that. Start off with that sentence. I've given you that one.
All right, I'm Carl, and the future.
He's already gone off road.
It's a scary place, but the future's got to happen. Right? There's no getting away from that.
Yep. Okay, your predictions are.
Well, we're all.
It's not a soundbite.
Keep going.
Hang on a
Give him
minute.
space. Give him
This
space.
is
Give him
in a
time.
book. I've got to think about. I don't
Okay.
want to get it
Think. Okay. Think first. Think, and then say it. Okay. Starting from now, these words of wisdom will be inscribed on a wall of a museum one day. Proceed.
Wall of a lavatory, will it?
wrong. I think trousers are going to be stopped being made. Just because
Right.
you see kids now, they've got pants around their ankles. They're going further and further down. So I think that's evolution. Just getting rid of the trouser.
Right.
It's just dropping naturally.
That's the evolution of the trouser because it's dropping incrementally
Well, you see now, you
down
can
the
see
arse.
kids' underpants. So they're just dropping.
Yeah.
I think they'll get to a point when they just don't bother wearing them anymore.
Right.
Prediction 1.
Okay,
That's an
stop
amazing one.
They'll stop making trousers in the future.
Good,
Okay.
We're going to get weaker. That's already happened. They used to say, you know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Now they're saying eat 5 fruits.
Right.
So we've definitely that's evidence. You can't argue with that. I'll probably put that first because he goes right. What's number 2? So swap that round.
Okay, that's number
Give
one.
him the pants second.
Yep.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Okay,
they
number
used
3.
to say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. They used to say pull your trousers up. No, they say put them down. You can. I've never had such fucking dribble.
Number 3.
Right, number 3. Oh, the scholars are now waiting with bated breath when they find this old scroll, and they go, "Ooh, what can number 3 be?"
I reckon we'll blend all our food.
Oh God!
No, because
I honestly thought then he was going to make a point about race. But he said, I never thought it would be. We'll blend all our food.
like they do for babies, you mean?
I just think when you think about all the stuff we eat now, cavemen chewing on big lumps of meat.
Yeah.
We had wisdom teeth.
Yep.
Now they say, "Oh, take them out. You're not using them."
Yeah.
Why not using them? Because your food's soft.
Yep.
Sorbet,
Yep.
soups.
Yeah.
You know, everything's softer,
Just
isn't it?
those
When you get
two,
an
but yeah.
avocado, they say, "Is it soft?" Everyone's squeezing the food before they buy it.
Yeah.
No one wants anything tough.
Yeah.
So I think chewing is a sort of
It's a thing of the
thing of the past. We haven't got the time to chew. Everyone's like, "Hurry up, eat that." You don't have to go out for dinner with Ricky. He's like, "Hurry up!" Like, I'm still eating
Well, he
it.
does blend his food, I think. Okay, so blending food.
Great.
I reckon. What else do we do now? So I've done teeth, done trousers. I've come up with this idea. It's sort of like glasses, but you can live wherever you want to live.
What do you mean?
Everything that's real, you're not looking at that anymore. This is really the future. I'd put this at number 10. This is like...
We're only doing 5. Fuck me.
So
Alright.
what you mean is that you look through the glasses and instead of seeing what the real world, you see a tropical
what you want to
paradise.
see. So if you're a young kid and you like the idea of living in the urban ghetto,
Yeah.
with all graffiti on the walls and that. You can see that.
Yeah, but hold on, are you walking round? Because you'll be bumping into stuff, won't you?
No.
Why not?
No, what you mean is that the stuff that's there in the real world is being digitally reimagined
Yeah.
in your glasses. So what was a nice country lane is suddenly now an
It's got
urban
loads
ghetto.
of graffiti on it.
Sure.
Absolutely mental, pointless, will
But-
never work. Absolutely
But
one of
all
the
the-
maddest things you've ever said.
Really weird, that one.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
could be done.
It
I
will,
reckon it could be easily
Why
done.
would it be? Okay,
Because-
last one, that's number 4. That's a load of bollocks. So what's number 5?
There'll be more letters in the alphabet.
Why?
Why?
Because we're running out of words now, aren't we?
No, we're not running out of
No, we
words
are.
now.
We are definitely running out
Just
of words.
using, just using the letters we've already got and
yeah.
making new words.
Yeah, we're making, yeah.
No, but we haven't got enough now.
Of course we have. Have you any idea? You could have a word with 9 L's
Yes.
before you run out.
Yeah, and they do in Wales and what have you. That's because their alphabet is shorter than ours. They've only got something like 24 letters over there,
Right.
but they go mental with the L. now, what we do is we've got 26 letters, but we are now struggling.
We're
We're
not struggling at all.
We are.
We're not. I mean, it's a stupid.
Boswallocks in shampoo. Now there's a word where they've gone, well, we've invented something here. We've got something we're putting in shampoo.
Boswallocks?
Boswallocks.
Have you just made that up?
No, it's now they go, new with Boswellots and ceramide R. Yeah, but that's a new word because they have to, they come up with a new word.
But it's a terrible word.
Why?
Boswallocks.
It's another word!
Is that real? You've made that up,
No,
is it?
I haven't. It's a real word.
Boswellocks, yeah.
Now this is what I'm saying. So years ago, when they came up with all the sensible ingredients,
Go on.
sodium. That sounds. That sounds all right.
He likes sodium, he doesn't
happy
like
with that.
Boswellots.
Because it sounds like something in it, like an ingredient.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're used to it.
Is this a load of Boswallocks? Are you winding me up,
No,
the two
it's
of you?
real.
It's real, and that's because 26 letters. We've wasted them. Years ago, we went mental with the, pneumonia, sticking a P on it, and there's loads of words where you go, "What's that letter doing in there?" Whereas now, they can't do that. They've gone, "Whoa, pull that back. Why is that letter there?" And now you've got stuff like abbreviations and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's not waste letters. Let's just control it a little bit. Cars are called things like, GTI or something, because they're going, well, I can't think of a word to call this. So they're giving them letters. Think of a word now. Think of a word that hasn't been made up.
What do you mean?
Well, tell me a word that hasn't been made up.
All words have been made up.
No, one that hasn't. That could be used. Say if I invent something now to put in shampoo, what can I call it? Quick.
Cranberry.
No, it's too close to that. No, we can't get that past the advertising person.
Scrimpton.
Scrimpton.
Yeah.
It took Ricky 2 goes and you accepted his second one.
Well, I think we've sorted out the future. You know, they do that big thing about the fat people in feeders. They were getting up to like 60 stone and that big one. And there's a thing called fat admirers that just fancy fat women, right? And
You writing that down?
yeah, sorry, and they had blow up versions. It looked like a bouncy castle.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. You'd be knackered when you blew that up.
Yeah,
You just wouldn't want to go
exactly.
forget it.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That's
I
people being cruel as well, isn't it? Because after watching the programme on Channel 4 about the fat people and fellas who like them and stuff, there was a story on one of the news websites about some fella in Germany, right? He was a big fella, must have been about 50 stone, and he fell over, right? And I think he hurt his ankle or something. And
timber.
they sent firemen instead of like an ambulance.
Yeah,
So straight away they're having a bit of a laugh.
they're not. No, they've got winching gear.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't have winching gear. They had to use the hose pipes
What?
to carry him out. I think it was Anna Nova, that news website. They had to use the hose pipes. So they made like a bed using the hose pipes
Oh yeah.
and had to carry him out on that. And then they had to sort of get him into a special truck, they said. And do the same when they got to the hospital. I mean, that's a bit...
That's mad, isn't it?
They shouldn't do that.
Although, Carl, I'm loving that story. I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to fit in Cheeky Freak of the Week.
What's the
which
Cheeky
is one
Freak
you
of the Week?
nominated?
Alright, cheeky freak of the week. Something I found on the net.
Yeah.
Fella who had 27 toes and fingers.
In a jar.
No, still on him. And proper ones as well, not like little stumps and that. Proper, fully formed fingers. He
Was
had
it-
like
Was he a pianist? Close-up magician.
I don't know what he did. He just said that he's...
Cat's cradle professional.
Did he ever work on finger bobs?
He was saying in the week.
For the crowd scenes.
I'm now going to do Braveheart. He said about the Elephant Man. He said, I want to do a thing right with freaks, where it's good and bad. He went, what has he said? The pro about him is...
What about the fellow with loads of fingers, or...?
No, the Elephant Man.
Well, he
said the bad thing is he stretches his jumpers.
When he puts them on.
Yeah.
And what's the good thing?
Sort of, he never gets up and goes, oh, my hair's a bit of a mess today.
No. He's always having another bad face day.
I like to complain about this head and shoulders. Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So that's freaky.
Didn't you see an elephant woman in Manchester?
Yeah, leave that.
What do you mean, leave it?
No, because it is sad.
I know it's sad, but I mean, I don't know what my next sentence is.
Yeah, people always
That
think...
should be the end.
I don't need to say anymore, people will know what she looks like. It's a good name for her.
Did she like buns? Oh dear.
It was when it's when my dad was a taxi driver and I used to sit in the front.
Yeah.
And she used to get a lot of taxis.
Yeah.
And
And he only charged you half price, didn't he? He was a good guy.
well, the bad thing is as well with people like that, you don't want to offend them because they never forget.
Oh, go!
But,
Karl Pilkington!
I was sat in the front of the cab and my dad goes, right, we're going to go and pick the, I can't even tell you the name. He's go, it's just evil.
What do you
Right?
mean?
No, leave it. So she's got.
No!
No,
Karl!
please.
Tell me what he said!
No.
You've already stitched him up with Stephen things from Little Welsh
I don't
fellas.
care.
Right, what did he call her?
Steve, back
No!
up on this. I really
Carl,
don't want
to be
to.
fair, our opinion of him is already pretty low.
Look, tell me what he said.
No, it's not. I'm scared of what my dad gets. It's the person who's got. The
She's
thing wrong
not
with it.
listening, is she?
Well, her headphones wouldn't fit on her head.
Tell me what he called her.
I don't want to.
Tell me what he called her, Karl. I'm getting angry, man. Tell me what he called her.
No, I'll leave that. Honestly,
Tell me what he...
It doesn't matter.
Tell me what he called her! Karl, just... I'm gonna
Steve.
go...
Seriously, I want to know what he called her.
Right, you're not gonna stop this show. We're not doing the next show until you tell me what he called her.
What did your father call the elephant head woman?
Tell me.
Spudhead.
How old were you?
I don't know, about 9.
So did you expect to see a potato with a dress?
He did sort of, again, it's a good name. Do you know what I mean? I had an idea of what it was going to be about, and he said, do you want to stay in the car, take you on, because you can't...
Spudheads, you've got lovely eyes.
Can't.
Carl just remembered, we've got Cheeky Freak of the Week to fit in.
Cheeky
I don't know
Freak
what
of
to
the
do. What's your Cheeky Freak of the Week, quickly? Just throw that away.
Right, well, it's just like, you know, we look at cheeky freaks.
Is this show offensive in any way to some people, do you think?
Ding dong.
Got any buns? Oh, it's the Elephant Man. Go on.
Right, well, it's a bit of a problem for you, this one, Steve, right? I'm chucking it forward to you. Remember the Cheeky Freak of the Week that we were talking about? That illness where people age quicker?
The 5-year-old girl that was older than her mum, and he said to you, what, if you ran off like you wouldn't serve her fags and beer? And you went, no. He went, why not? And you went, because it's a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? He went, oh, she's got enough problems, give her some fags. You remember that, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, right.
So, another dilemma for you, right? Picture this, you're running a restaurant, right? Door goes, right? Few people, most of them look normal. You notice the woman at the back, crawling on all fours. Top half is woman, right? This is real.
Yes.
This isn't like a comic or anything. This is on,
Yeah,
on the internet.
I've seen it. They're called dog people, and her legs just come straight down. They're like little, just with legs at the back, and so they walk on all fours because it's easier.
Dog people, right?
Yeah, not
got
dog people. They're human beings
Alright.
with deformed back legs, so they walk. It's easier for them to get around like that because they can't stand up because they can't stabilise, and also it comes straight out of their hips. Right.
So you're running a restaurant, it's a busy night, you haven't really got time for any hassle. She comes in. Would you serve her?
The premise being what? That he doesn't serve dogs?
Because the restaurants don't allow animals in.
Right! Right.
So it's a dilemma.
It's not a dilemma, she's not a dog. She's a human being.
Yeah,
with
I put, you know, a plate of meatballs on the floor, and she tucks in. And a little glass of, you know, a little bowl of wine next to it.
He turns round, there's the woman older than...
Get away from that plant!
Have we got a cheeky freak of the week?
Do you want one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should have a jingle for this.
Okay, I've got a jingle. It's very similar to chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee that?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Oh, cheeky freak of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I think that's excellent. So, cheeky
Okay.
freak of the week. You've spotted a freak
This is where somewhat, I think, offensively, you pick on someone who's not like other people and say it's your favourite freak of that week.
Yeah,
I remember we had the woman whose legs looked like the hind legs of a dog. We've had the little fella with the ageing disease with a little head playing the piano. That was your favourite. I think that's your probably freak of the year, isn't it?
It's a pretty good one.
So what's this? Is it a man with a horrendous injury, or is it a congenital birth defect, or what?
Yeah, but you put it like that, and now it sounds like I'm being tight. Sounds like I'm being out of order. But I'm just giving him a mention.
Just giving him a big shout out.
Right? There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so...
So this is just a bonus?
This is a bonus freak.
Tease, yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
This is a free freak, right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get? Some succulent meat.
I like the idea that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Look at his hands.
What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right. Yeah.
Have you thought about a nickname?
Not really. No. Have you noticed
Have you looked at his hands?
Yeah. We don't want to talk about that because
Do you know they look a little bit like
quite
lobsters?
well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's like, you know, we
Can I
can't.
suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar.
Pinchy.
Go on then. We're gonna see. This is what the sort of feature you come up with, Carl.
So, Lobster Man.
There's probably people listening now with, you know, lobster feet.
Right.
Lobster hands.
So,
Squid boy.
So, Lobster Man, what does Lobster Man do? Does he fight crime?
not that much.
Okay.
Apparently he got into a bit of trouble. He was in a restaurant, and this was years ago, by the way.
And someone picked him to eat him.
No, so apparently the waiter said, "Oh, you shouldn't be sat here. You should be in my pan," or something.
Oh dear.
And they had a fight, got out of hand,
Yeah.
Oh, got out of claw.
and yeah. So that was.
What do you mean
that
they
was
had a fight? What did he
do?
A waiter took the mickey out of someone with...
No,
No, can I just make clear? I'm assuming his hands look a bit like those of a lobster.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fused, so it's just like two big fingers. They're
Right.
fused, I assume, probably in the womb, and they're just like, instead of like having
Yeah,
five
yeah,
digits, they're fused, and it... But I mean, he can pick stuff up, can't he?
Yeah.
What does he pick up? He mainly eats crabs and jellyfish, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. So he was having a fight with the waiter. He snipped off his nose.
Right, so anyway,
He just held on to the waiter's bib.
Yeah,
And the
exactly,
waiter was
yeah.
screaming, go and get him off me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Does he eat other lobsters? Does he think he would eat lobster? Or is it kind of... would he feel bad about eating lobster?
Right.
the little cheek of the freak that we've gone for anyway.
The what?
The little freak of the week,
Yeah.
cheeky freak of the week. We've gone for this Siamese lad,
Okay.
right? Happened back in.
You can't have a Siamese lad, can you?
All right, yeah. This Siamese twins happened back in 1693.
Oh, he's got a date. Blimey, that's the first time ever.
Yeah. And all it was, he was doing all right for himself. He used to go on there like those circus things he used to do.
They're two people you're talking about, Carl. So we're going to him.
All right then. All right. They did this circus show, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going well. They're selling out the tents and stuff. People coming to see them.
Yeah.
He was doing all right for himself,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, before I said that, did you think a Siamese twin was a man with two heads?
Well, it can be, can't it? It depends. There is a
There's two
man.
people, they're conjoined.
No, but it depends, doesn't it? The one that I shown you in that book that time was a fellow with two heads.
No, it wasn't. That was a stupid picture in one of your stupid books that he had a growth that looked a little bit like it had a face on it. It wasn't a man with two heads. You're the same sort of people who send potato chips to restaurants and say, doesn't it look like Norman Cook?
Yeah.
It's not two heads.
We'll bin this feature.
No!
No, it's
It's,
just...
they're two people. They're two people. Conjoined twins. Right, so these...
It's just that they just happen to have a similar taste in clothes. Okay.
Anyway, so they were doing alright, and it all went wrong when he crossed the road, got run over. The lad with two heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you...
wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Karl Pilkington, you are a genius.
Like I say, it's been a struggle. We'll do that. We'll do Cheeky Freak of the Week. Do you want to?
Oh, definitely. Should we do Cheeky Freak
we
of the
have
Week?
Cheeky Freak of the
I
Week?
can't wait. I'll always do these. I'd start off with these.
Alright, well, let's have the jingle for Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Oh, no.
Do you remember it?
No.
I remember it.
Oh. Oh, Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Brilliant.
Something like that?
I want someone because that was slightly half-hearted.
Oh, Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Excellent.
Right. This we're going back again.
Yeah, 17th century?
Well, it was 1829, right?
Oh. I'm impressed.
Now the problem is with Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Not so much the week, is it, if you're going back to 1829?
Well,
Not even of the century. You haven't even done Cheeky Freak of the century.
there's
What's the problem with Cheeky Freak of the Week?
just because.
Other than the sort of moral implications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, last week it was a fellow with two heads.
Yeah.
We've done Siamese twins. It's Siamese twins again.
Oh, it's
No, it was Siamese
again.
twins. It wasn't a fellow with two heads last week. It was Siamese twins. Conjoined twins, sorry. They're two different people. This is what I'm telling you.
But this is the problem. They're going to crop up quite a lot just because they've got double a chance. All right.
Oh, please don't write in and complain. He knows not what he does. You understand, don't you? Karl will actually feature one day in this section.
Yeah.
So, right, go on,
Well,
Karl.
we're going back to 1829.
Yeah.
All the way back there to
This is a
1829.
retro conjoined twin link.
A couple of guys set up a business. They were called Chang and Ang.
Oh, they're the first. That's why they're called Siamese twins, because they wasn't that what it was based on? Those two, Chang and Ang.
Was it?
The original, yeah. That's why they're called Siamese twins, because I think they were Siamese.
So these are the first ones.
Well, they're not the first ones, but they're
First
the ones
one.
that got to fame, I think, and why people started calling them. People started calling them conjoined twins, Siamese twins. I think I'm right there.
Anyway.
Good. Well, the sort of set up business, sort of going around the US
Well, both of them.
and Europe, yeah.
Yeah.
And what they used to do, people were amazed by it anyway. But
Yeah.
people wanted to know how they get through life doing certain things that you think about when you think about Siamese twins. You think about, you know, how do you get through a day like that?
Yeah.
Right? And the thing that cropped up the most with people was how they take a bath. So they used to go on tour around the US and Europe and sit in a bath, have a wash and that. And
Did they ever wash each other by mistake? They go, oh, that ends there. That ends there. Like those things in supermarkets. They put one of those down. We go, oh.
what do you
You
mean?
put that there.
What do you mean?
You know the things on the conveyor belt? The little,
dividers.
yeah.
They wind me up, those dividers.
Now, it's Chang and Ang, they're in the bath, they're washing their own bits, they got one of those dividers, right? They go, well, that's definitely yours. I marked mine. That's definitely mine.
What?
Don't wash that, Chang. I wouldn't, Ang. I wouldn't wash that. Right? So what are they doing? They're in the bath. Carry on with the story.
That's about it, really. I mean, that's the fact that people.
So, two little Oriental fellas joined in the hip, had a bath.
No.
That's your story.
No, they didn't have a bath. They sort of everybody they must have done some sort of research, right?
Who?
Changanang, right? And they said, well, what do people want to see?
Isn't that basically Roller's song?
But it's an idea that people have queued up. They've paid their money. They're in a tent. They're, well, I hear they're going to have a bath. They're going to have a bath.
I wanna
Two
see-
Siamese people have a bath. How would they possibly do it? Well, I've heard they get into a bath.
But that's
I don't know
they
what's
wanted to see
exciting.
them nude and where the join was.
No,
More than how do you get in the bath?
I don't know. They just that's what they picked. They said, what would be good to see? What do you know? What do you want to see them do?
Having a bath.
How'd you get into trousers? Was there
Well, exactly. This is all part of it, isn't it? That's why they picked having a bath.
This is all part of it. Well, then watch them get dressed afterwards.
Yeah.
Who was the best out of Chang and Ang? Who was your favourite?
They both look the same, to be honest.
There's a surprise. One was a short ginger woman. Oh dear.
Is there anything you know? What would be better than having a bath for you when you're seeing them? What would sort of make you go? Oh, I wonder.
One of them pulling and the other one going home alone.
Yeah.
I go, look, oh, she's definitely up for it. I'm taking her home and go, oh, what am I going to do? Can I watch? Definitely not. Definitely not. Look, you go to bed. I want to wine and dine her.
But if he's got back to their place and they're going at it hammer and tongs, but only saying one of them.
No,
is
Hammer and Tongs were their cousins.
right.
They lived miles away.
Yeah. If one of them gets knackered, can the other one take over?
God! I think we play a record.
That annoys me.
What?
That sort of being at it all night.
What do you mean?
Let's put a song and I'll come back.
What
to
do you
it.
mean?
The controversial cheeky freak of the week, where Karl finds a human being with some sort of congenital or you know imposed deformity, or you know. So and we talk about that in a wry way. Do you think that's big and clever?
No, but that's just it. It's never about taking the mickey out of someone, right? It's to make you think.
I'll tell you what isn't big and clever.
How lucky you are
A
on
dwarf with learning difficulties.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
We'll explain it to you. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, He Wants You.
Brilliant.
FM.
Yeah. So, Karl, off you go.
well, we're not going to do Freak of the Week here,
Okay.
right? Because we've done quite a bit of that in the last 20 minutes,
We've
right? So we'll
OD'd
move
on
that.
freaks, you think?
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll just shift it a little bit.
Okay.
And I don't, like I keep saying, don't want people to be thinking we're sort of taking the mick out of anyone,
No.
right? Because we're not about that. I feel like I can do a little bit of it because I work with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It gives me that right.
It's like a care worker. Yeah, I understand.
Well, it's like that thing of you can't be homophobic because I've got a couple of gay mates and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
I think it sort of gives me that edge,
Yeah.
right?
So you're not freakophobic because you work with Steve.
No, that's right. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Well,
well, I think-
by that token, I should be able to sort of slag off, you know, the mentally ill.
What do you
Or
mean?
at least mentally handicapped.
Now there's a term you don't hear very often. In 2003, there was the mentally
The mentally handicapped, isn't that what it was?
Oh, I don't know where to start.
But I
I'd
mean,
like to
something-
apologise for the Lady Diana stuff, the term mentally handicapped, and any inadvertent racism that we may have stumbled
What's
over.
the actual term then? Is it retarded?
Right, are we
Well,
having Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Do you want to do it?
What
Yeah.
time have you got to show off?
Could do with shooting off sort of soonish,
Okay.
to be honest.
This is not radio. Have you ever heard that on a radio show? Chris Tarrant going, I got to show off right now. I couldn't get a later train.
I know! Why did you get a later train?
There isn't
There isn't
any.
a later train. So I couldn't get to Cornwall tonight if I had to. If I had to finish this show, I couldn't possibly get to Cornwall.
Rubbish. Of course there's a later train.
Oh, I've booked it now anyway.
Right, well that's
Right.
the point, isn't it? Yeah. You're not
Right,
following through.
whatever. I don't think the show's lost anything. I think we've still had the, Freak of the Week's coming up now.
Oh, Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Right, well, we've had some interesting things we've been looking at. This week, it's about the strangest couple that ever got married.
And we've had 2 sets of chimps, so it's stranger than that. Oh, it's not Dale Winton and Nell McAndrew, is
It's
it?
not your parents, is it?
Well, we're going back again to about, I think this is about 19,
Something like
I don't know,
that.
1940.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Not important.
Strangest couple, a fella, right? He had skin of a lizard.
He had the skin of a lizard, okay.
And the woman who he
Which he
married,
used as a condom.
the woman who he married,
Yeah.
airiest woman ever.
Right.
And that was their act. They used to tour the world, and they'd say, you know, it's like, you know, a couple who've met, they're having a great life. Let's get them out on stage. Here they are. And they'd
What do you
pop
mean
out.
he had a skin of a lizard, first of all?
That's what it said. He had some sort of some illness.
So he was called Lizard Man, and you like that because it was good description.
I thought that's good.
I'm
Let
here,
me know.
hello, we've booked a table for two. Who are you meeting? I'm meeting Lizard Man. Oh, he's over there.
Yeah.
You know he is, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Look
meeting
out.
the hairiest woman in the world. She's over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did they do for their act?
Now, bear in mind that we had some Siamese twins last week, and their act was having a bath.
yeah.
So, I hope it's an improvement on that.
What did Lizard Man? He came out and ate some flies, did he?
I don't really know. I just think they stood there and that.
Yeah, when you read this and it goes the most interesting fact ever, Lizard Man, and you go, that's enough. That's
Yeah,
enough.
well,
I can
that's-
extrapolate from
Yeah,
that.
but straight away I'm thinking, right, I wonder if they got the wedding photos. Right? And then, like it said that they had a kid.
Oh, what would that be like? Half
Exactly,
lizard, half
exactly, that's
it'd be
what I
like
was
an
thinking.
ostrich, wouldn't it? It would sort of like.
That's what I was thinking.
What did you think it would come out like, the baby?
I didn't think what that looked like. I just was thinking, oh, parents' evening. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want them coming up to the school, would you?
So,
Well, that's
so
the
little
problem.
Johnny, who starts off relatively normal, he's quite good at, he's good at nature,
Yeah.
isn't he? And his mum and dad come into the room and they'd be looking round, wouldn't they?
Well, it's always like that thing at school when, like, you find out your mate's mum and dad are really old.
Right,
Have you
sure.
ever seen that?
Yeah.
When you go, have you know, your gran and granddad bought you?
Yeah.
Your mum and dad.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
It is weird.
What's that we're talking about? He calls him mum. What was that? Oh, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
like-
that's always strange.
I
But if you had Godzilla and King Kong as your parents,
Yeah.
and it was
And they're
like you
always
say-
fighting.
they're always fighting, and you know, like you say, if you're in a school play or something, you wouldn't tell them, would you? You wouldn't want them coming up with a video camera.
He didn't tell his parents he was in the. When we were.
Well, exactly.
You did Little Donkey, you didn't tell your dad, did you? And he came along and videoed it.
Yeah.
Was
kept
that-
it quiet, don't want them to know anything.
But you didn't. What was it you was meant to be playing? You had a little drum, didn't you?
Yeah, I was doing, I had a little drum. I think I was meant to be playing We Three Kings,
Yeah.
but, we started doing Little Donkey and I thought I can add a touch to this.
Sure, you improvise.
Started playing along
It was like
with
the first
Yeah.
remix, wasn't it?
It went down well. But yeah, that's all I was thinking with, the Freak of the Week this week. That's what I'm saying about Freak of the Week. It's to get people thinking, right? Thinking how lucky they are. That, you know, they don't have to...
Comb their face. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Freak of the Week is to let people know how lucky they are.
Just...
What about the little freak you're talking about? What are they thinking? They're going, oh, he's talking about me. I'm a little hairy lizard man on a stick.
pop in, give us a call. You know, that's what I'd like to do on a TV programme. That's what I want to do. I want to go and, like, meet these people and say, right, let's just go shopping, you know, we'll film what your normal day's like.
Yeah.
Let's pop out. Nip into Sainsbury's or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, buy a comb. or
Park
whatever.
right up close to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So what you're saying is you just want to get a little message out there, which is that there's always someone worse off than you.
Well, there's proof of that in this room. You know what I mean?
I just think it's a shambles. I've asked for Cheeky Freak of the Week, and it appears that Carl's not ready. He's not prepared.
No, I can sort of remember it. It's just that I like to have all the information.
Contempt for
But
the
you've just
listener.
had you've just had a whole bunch of adverts and placebo in order to get it ready.
We're chatting, we're having a chat and that.
Right, do you want to sort yourself out in future?
Yeah, someone that's what we were chatting about. Someone emailed in about they watched the £200 tumour thing, and when it was removed, it was carried away in a wheelbarrow, right? Carl said, what, even when she had it removed, she still carried it round in a wheelbarrow?